400 day with 2 college football playoff appearances and 2 Big Ten championships. The Mavericks, in the NBA's West Finals for the first time in 11 years, visit the Warriors in Game 1 of the series tonight. And one of the keys for Dallas is a fast start against the high-flying Warriors, explains Mavs coach Jason Kidd.
Understanding the game of runs. They're going to go on a run. We mentally have to keep our composure and stay the course. And then the second big thing is just we got to capitalize on turnovers. If they turn it over, we got to be able to put the ball in the basket.
Golden State's in the conference finals for the 6th time in 8 years. Game 1 tonight, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. 2 second-round NHL playoff series begin tonight. Rangers, Hurricanes, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV, followed by the Flames and Oilers. NFL former Giants corner James Bradbury joining the Eagles on a 1-year deal.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. And great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. And for a limited time only, capture your Barbasol Jurassic World collector cans before they're gone.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's a hump day.
Hump day.
Pels picking 8th overall.
It's hump day.
Blame the priest.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Blame Father Alello,
Hump day.
a.k.a. Padre Hooch.
It's hump day.
The well has run dry.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
His prayers not answered.
Hump day.
No good.
It's hump day.
God's not listening to him anymore.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
If he ever did.
Hump day.
Zion thing might have been a blind squirrel.
It's hump day.
Jacob Berry returned last night.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Alex Milazzo returned last night. Please go win 2 games at Vanderbilt.
It's hump day.
Taylor Calandro in a bit.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Kevin Mawae next hour.
Hump day.
Scott Kushner, hour 3.
It's hump day.
A lot to do. Glad you're here. All right. Let's get rocking and rolling. So, we'll get to LSU baseball in the next segment. And there was some pretty significant news. I mean, LSU run-ruled Northwestern State. Totally irrelevant. But what happened in the game and who we saw in the game certainly was relevant. We'll get to that in the next segment. So, Pels. Last night, we do, in fact, find out that the New Orleans Pelicans will be picking in the top 10. This is how it sounded.
The 8th pick will be made by the New Orleans Pelicans.
New Orleans receives this pick from the LA Lakers because of the Anthony Davis trade.
So a little disappointing, but we got to remember this. Of course, going into last night, you had a 99.6% chance of picking in the top 10, of keeping that 8th pick. It was going to take an otherworldly amount of scenarios for the Pels not to pick in the top 10. Yes, would have been amazing had somehow that pick ended up in the top 4. It didn't. And so, by virtue of the fact that you're picking 8th instead of in the top 4, it's less likely that you're going to hit an absolute home run with this pick. But you're also the only playoff team that's picking in the top 10. And it continues to show just how amazing of a job that David Griffin did in negotiating that Anthony Davis trade. By the way, if I could take a quick moment and give a gigantic hat tip to the Pelicans social media squad. I don't know who is directly responsible for this, but there is a video of, they took a game highlight of Pels Lakers where Jose Alvarado intercepted a LeBron James pass, which transitioned to a Najee Marshall dunk at the other end, and they they superimposed over the basketball a ping pong ball with the Lakers logo on it, and Alvarado steals it, and it becomes a Pelicans ping pong ball. It's so good. Go look at their social media. Like, job well done. Really, bravo. It's quite amazing. So the thing that we have to keep in mind, the perspective you got to keep is, look, you're still seeing the benefit of the Anthony Davis trade. You were a playoff team who did not have your best player. I know we've said this a bunch, but even on a day like this, it really, I think, sinks in where you can say, okay, you made the playoffs without Zion Williamson playing a single minute of basketball. His 27-10 is coming back next year, provided he's healthy, and we all hope he will. And I get, if you're skeptical, remains to be seen. I understand that. I don't blame you. But Zion's 27-10 is coming back next year. You're going to get Kyra Lewis healthy next year. And now you're going to add the 8th pick in the draft, which we'll talk a little bit about what that might become. The Magic did win the draft lottery. OKC will pick 2nd. The Rockets 3rd. The Kings move up. They'll pick 4th. The Pistons 5th. Pacers, Blazers, Pelicans 8th, followed by the Spurs and the Wizards. And then the rest of the lottery, the Knicks, Thunder, Hornets, and Cleveland will pick 14th. So that's how the draft order will go. Thank you very much. And with that, now knowing New Orleans will pick 8th, it's appropriate to start looking at a lot of the mock drafts that are out there. And there's a lot of different mock drafts with a lot of different opinions. Jonathan Givony over at ESPN Draft Express, he has the Pels taking A.J. Griffin out of Duke. He's the forward who can certainly space the floor and made 45% of his threes last year. Trey Murphy was very good, especially late in the season for the Pelicans. And you got a guy who has a 7-foot wingspan and can defend the wing. And that's something that I would put a priority on. I feel like you got a lot of scorers. If you add a scorer, great. It's a benefit. But really what I'm looking for here is defense. Our friend Kristen Peak, who's been a good friend of the show from Yahoo Sports, her mock draft that's out today, she has the Pelicans taking Johnny Davis, the guard out of Wisconsin, at number 8. And sandwiched, by the way, by Ben Mathurin, from the guard from Arizona, and Mark Williams, the center from Duke, at 9. So Mathurin to Portland and Williams to San Antonio at 9. But Johnny Davis, the guard from Wisconsin, 8. CBS Sports, again, we're just rolling through what different mock drafts have to say. This was, I'm trying to see who it was at CBS Sports. This is Gary Parrish. Gary Parrish, who's done a really good job for a long time, really good college basketball writer as well. So Gary Parrish has the Pels taking Johnny Davis, same as Jonathan Givony from ESPN. I'm sorry, that's not the same as Givony. He had Johnny Davis, a small forward from Wisconsin, 6'5", 194, second best small forward in the draft. Something that the NBA's official website did is they put together a consensus mock draft. So they went and cobbled together as many of the reputable mock drafts as they could find, and they compiled to see the most common picks for each spot. And the most commonly selected number 1 overall player is Jabari Smith out of Auburn. Chet Holmgren, 2 to the Thunder. Paolo Banchero, 3 to the Rockets. Then Jaden Ivey, 4. Actually, Jaden Ivey was also the most common selection, 5th overall as well. And I completely just lost my computer. It's gone. Oh, there it is. That's shutting down. I'll just spoil it. Ben Mathurin was the pick from Arizona, which is the most common pick for the Pelicans at 8 overall, is Ben Mathurin from Arizona. So we'll see next month when the draft actually happens. But what we do know is that the Pels are going to add a really good player, 8th overall. They're the only playoff team to add a top 10 pick. And, I mean, it puts you in a really good position where you're going to get Zion back, and you're also going to add a top 10 pick in this year's draft. So, tip of the cap to David Griffin, to Swin Cash, Trajan Langdon, the entire front office of the Pels, who've built a playoff roster already, and they're going to be only better next year. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our first break of the show. As always, Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. When we come back, I'm going to talk some LSU baseball. Tigers got a win against Northwestern State last night. That's really inconsequential. But what I do want to talk about, some of the big news that we got last night with Barry and Milazzo returning and what that might mean for tomorrow's game in Nashville. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Summer is here, which means we are all now enjoying our outdoor spaces. We're outside by the pool. You're in the backyard. Kids are playing ball in the yard. Beautify those outdoor spaces. Add a pop of color with some gorgeous flowers from Clegg's Nursery. We are very partial at the Moscona household to Dippledinas. If you're not familiar, check them out. They not only are big and beautiful and colorful, they really, really last through the Louisiana summers. Check them out at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations. Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I have a lot of you also, by the way, who are messaging me saying, Matt, when picked up the Spartan Mosquito Eradicator, it's that time. Mosquitoes are back. Make sure you knock them out 90 days at a time with a Spartan Mosquito Eradicator from Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Rolling along here, Hump Day AFR. Hope you're having a really good week. Remember, Scone and T returns tonight. T-Bob, A-Bear, and I every Wednesday, 7 o'clock Central Time over at Oliver Twist on Perkins. Come join us. If you can't join us there on site, be sure to tune in on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube or the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. We appreciate you for joining us live. No doubt, we will talk a good bit about LSU baseball tonight. So last night, LSU beats Northwestern State 19-7. There was not, if you watched this game, and I'm going to guess that many of you punted, and many of you decided coming off a 3-game weekend sweep at the hands of Ole Miss and welcoming in a sub-500 Southland Conference team was not the best way for you to spend your Tuesday night. And I don't blame you. I, however, get paid to do this job, and so I felt some way obligated to watch that game last night. So I did. And it was just as bad as you'd expect from the beginning. Bryce Collins starting for LSU. He walks a guy. He hits a guy. There's a wild pitch. There's an E6. I mean, you're down 1-0. And Northwestern State didn't even have a hit. But you get out of it, and then the bottom half of the first went as bad as the top of the first was. The bottom was even worse. Northwestern State literally started the game by going hit by pitch, hit by pitch, hit by pitch, error. They hit the first 3 batters of the game. That was an omen of what was to come. As it is, what's the old adage about going to the ballpark? You see something you've never seen before? 10 LSU Tigers were hit by a pitch last night. That ties the NCAA single-game record. It was atrocious. Josh Pearson did not record an official at-bat. He was hit 3 times and walked twice. I was so mad. I would just like to send a very sincere thank you to Hayden Travinski. Because when Northwestern State hit a 3-run homer to pull within 8-6, the 7-inning, 10-run rule was no longer in play and didn't really look close. And in the bottom of the 6th, Hayden Travinski walloped a grand slam, the first grand slam of the season for LSU, by the way. And thankfully, that and then followed by a Braden Joubert homer, did in fact push LSU over the number, and Tigers were able to beat Northwestern State 19-7 in just 7 innings pitched. So, in just 7 innings complete. So, fantastic news to that end, right? LSU wins the game, no big deal. But here was Jay Johnson after the win, by the way, on the Northwestern State win.
Paying attention to the RPI, which is how they, position teams for the NCAA tournament. This was really the last game left on the schedule that probably swings you really bad one way or the other if we don't win. With that being said, there's a lot of programs around the country that decided to cancel this game. I'm not going to do that. I just don't feel like that's in line with what's made this program great for a long time. And so we needed to play, but with that being said, we needed to win it. And I'm really proud of the team for their response in a game that we needed to win, and feel great about it.
So, by the way, LSU's RPI, I'm checking it right now, is at 34. So they went up 1 spot in the RPI from 35 to 34 after last night's game. Like we talked about yesterday, don't worry about the RPI. Because you have 3 games this weekend over Vanderbilt, which is top 5 in the RPI. Your RPI will take care of itself. You're okay there. The most important thing about last night's game, though, was we saw Jacob Berry return and Alex Milazzo return. I'll talk about the postseason here in just a second because I do have some insight there. And LSU's still very legitimate after some phone conversations today. LSU's very legitimate chance to be a regional host still. Jacob Berry entered the game as a pinch hitter, and he replaced Collier Cranford. Remember, with Berry out, Cranford is in there as a defensive replacement. And Collier Cranford committed 2 errors last night. An error with his glove and a throwing error. I'm not the guy, y'all know this, say it often. I'm not the guy that's here to criticize college athletes or dump on kids or anything like that. That's not the point. And I don't think he's trying to play bad. I don't think he's trying to make errors. I think he's trying his best, all that stuff. Realistically, though, we know Collier Cranford offensively is an out. He's buried at the bottom of the lineup, and you have him in the lineup because Jacob Berry is out. You just put in a glove to try to solidify the left side of your infield. Okay. If that's the route they want to go, fine. You have enough bats. But if the guy who's in there as a defensive option commits 2 errors, he can't be in there. He can't be in there. So you can't be in there if you're also going to be an out offensively. So we saw Jacob Berry DH, and he drew a 4-pitch walk. So he didn't even swing the bat. So the big question was then, would Jacob Berry go in the field? And he did not. Drew Bianco ended up being the defensive replacement at third base. Merrifield ended up going in later in the game as well, and Bianco went to left. But I think, by the way, here was Jay Johnson after the game on Jacob Berry and his possibility of playing this weekend.
Yeah, I think we're getting closer. It's a real injury. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is not a thing where he's trying to not play. There's nobody in the country that wants to step in that batter's box more than him. And if I was as good as him, I'd want to get back in there too. And makes a huge difference on our team. I mean, he's leading the SEC in hitting, and I think has 15 home runs. And I mean, keep in mind he's missed the last 7 or 8 games, whatever it's been. So I think we're moving in a good direction. I think you'll see him this weekend, which I'm excited about.
So this is what I think is most likely to happen. I think Jacob Berry, if he's not going to play in the field, and it appears as though he's not, right? If there was an opportunity to play him in the field, you would have played him last night at third. They didn't. On Thursday, tomorrow, game 1, Vandy is going to start Devin Futrell. He's a freshman lefty, 6'5", 195, throws hard. Jay Johnson likes to stack his lineup against lefties with right-handed bats. It makes sense that Jacob Berry will be your DH game 1 from the right side. That's what we've heard all along. He's more comfortable swinging from the right side. The broken finger is on his right hand, so if you're swinging from the right side, the left hand is the bottom hand, the power hand, pull through. That makes a lot of sense to put Berry in as your DH against the lefty Futrell. That means Joe Bear goes to the bench, which I'm okay with that. Joe Bear homered twice last night, but he has struggled to hit left-handers, and his average has dropped down into the 250 range. Since you've gotten into the meat of SEC play, you've seen Joe Bear's average drop about 100 points. So, yes, I'm okay with Berry DHing, Joe Bear going to the bench. The question is, what do you do at third? And this was an audition for Cranford, and if he's kicking the ball around, he can't be your guy at third. I think you got your answer last night, that Jay went to Bianco and put him at third. That's another right-handed bat in the lineup, and Bianco goes to third. Now, what we don't know right now is if Gavin Dugas will be available. If Gavin Dugas is available, then he starts in left, and that's another right-handed bat in the lineup, and Stevenson goes out. If not, then Stevenson likely plays in left field. You shore up your outfield defensively. You just have another left-handed bat in the lineup that has not hit lefties at all this year. And Stevenson, he probably bats ninth, and he's just an out. And you hope you can get something productive out of him with his at-bats. So the fantastic news that Berry looks like he's going to go this weekend, and my guess is he'll DH on Thursday. Had a conversation today as well with someone who's kind of looking into advanced scouting and metrics and all that sort of stuff. And they were looking at Cade Doughty and Doughty's production, or what has happened to Doughty since Jacob Berry went out of the lineup. And Doughty, if I have this written down correctly, and I wanted to tell you I may be off a point or two here, so there is a degree of variance, but this is pretty much on it. That Doty, since Berry has been out, so now Doty not hitting behind Berry anymore, he's 3 of 26. It might have been 3 of 24, so forgive me if there's a pointed degree of variance, but that's a 115 batting average. Nobody has been more affected in this lineup by Jacob Berry's absence than Cade Doty, because what's happened is you had, when you were looking at Dylan Cruz and Jacob Berry, pitchers had to pick their poison. I mean, the guy that was the beneficiary was Doty hitting behind the two of them. And they're like, look, we know Doty's a pro, but I'd rather deal with Doty than Cruz or Berry. And so he was the beneficiary. Now he's not getting as many pitches to hit. He's really fighting it a little bit right now. So having Berry back does have that positive impact, not just on having Berry in his production as your leading hitter, but also what that means for someone like Cade Doty behind him. And then the other thing we saw was the return of Alex Milazzo. He went in as a pinch hitter, and he actually got a pretty nice knock. Widened up his stance and shot one right back up the middle on a line right over second base. And that was nice to see. As much as we've talked about Milazzo struggling offensively, which is a thing, he's hitting 225, 227 on the season. Granted, limited ABs. But I'll take 225 as opposed to 150, which you're 130, which you're dealing with, with Cranford as sort of an out in your lineup. But Jay Johnson's he's made it pretty clear. If Alex Milazzo is available to play, he's going to play. And I had someone ask me, how different is, how different is the series, or how many more wins? It was someone on Twitter last night asked me, how many more wins would LSU have if Milazzo had been behind the plate all season? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's speculative. What I can tell you is, wouldn't you love to have had Alex Milazzo in the first inning against Ole Miss Game 1? Mikhail Hilliard throws a strike 3, and McManus can't block it up. Runner gets to first base. You go walk, 2-run single, walk, 2-run single. And instead of being in the dugout with a 2-0 lead, now you're down 4-2. Does that change the weekend? I don't know. Maybe. But I'd sure like to have the option. And that's why, if he's healthy and able, Alex Milazzo is going to be the catcher. And I know I've said this for a long time, and a lot of you disagree with me. But this offense has enough bats in it. If you can give me a premium defender, an elite defender at a premium position, I'm going to take it, and so will Jay Johnson. That's why, if Milazzo's healthy, he's going to play. You don't have to agree with it, but take that up with the head coach at LSU. And basically any other baseball manager who knows what they're talking about. And it would be interesting this weekend because Vanderbilt is the team in the SEC that actually runs. Vanderbilt has attempted 92 stolen bases on the year. They're 83 of 92. Enrique Bradfield is 41 of 41. Basically, every time Enrique Bradfield gets on base, it's a double. Because he gets on first, he's taking second. So you have a guy in there that has the potential to control the opponent's running game. Yes, I want that. So some potentially really big developments here for LSU with Berry returning last night and likely to play this weekend, and the possibility of Milazzo going. What I will tell you is that Milazzo caught an inning last night, or caught after he went in as a pinch hitter, and they were still going to wait to see how he felt today. Just because you went in there and you got in the squat for an inning, that doesn't mean you're ready to go catch 9. And I don't know that he is. But it may be a situation where if you have a lead and you want a defensive replacement, he may go in there, sort of thing. So just something worth keeping an eye on as LSU gets ready to head to Nashville. Leaving today, and, of course, 3-game series begins tomorrow. And for LSU, I was told pretty adamantly, the feeling is if they get 2 this weekend, they're a lock to host. If their strength of schedule is good enough and the committee wants LSU to host because it's LSU, and if they get 2 this weekend to get to 16 in conference, LSU's a lock to host. If they get 1 this weekend, then you're probably going to have to win 2 at least in Hoover, if not play into the weekend in Hoover. So a lot still on the table for LSU this weekend as they head to Vanderbilt for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro in 15 minutes. Don't you move.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's. Boy, I was thinking about lunch earlier today. Rouse's makes it so easy. Just run into Rouse's, grab and go. They've got the full deli. They got grab and go seafood options as well. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics and the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. So thrilled to announce that. Go to the website. You can see all of the different things that Rouse's offers there at all of the Rouse's Markets locations with professional chefs and cooks, butchers, bakers, certified seafood experts in each of their stores. If you're looking for catering, baked goods like cakes and desserts, they got prepared food, pizza, fried chicken, all the good stuff. The butcher shop is fantastic. I love the brisket. A lot of Sundays, Erica will go pick up brisket and we'll eat on that for a few days. They have cheese and charcuterie, the seafood market I love to tell you about. Remember, no matter what it is that you're shopping for, they have curbside to go, curbside pickup, and delivery options at Rouse's, all of the Rouse's locations. Rouse's.com. Remember, Rouse's, where this feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è. Oh, oh, oh.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad you're with us here. Taylor Calandro in about 10 minutes from right now. Get your booze questions in. You can email me, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. Tweet me at Matt Moscona. Jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can text in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. You want to get anything, any booze-related question to Taylor, get it in now. We'll get your questions to him in about 10 minutes from right now. So I'm not sure if you saw this, but the XFL has reached a multi-year agreement to air all of their games on ESPN and other networks owned by the Walt Disney Company. So what that means is when the XFL resumes in 2023, the 40 regular season games, the 2 playoff semifinals, and title game, they'll be on ESPN, ABC, and FX. So that was the big announcement from the XFL today with their partnership with Disney. It is worth mentioning that the XFL is returning under new ownership with Danny Garcia, Jerry Cardinelli, and then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So during his career, The Rock, of course, has done many movies under the Disney umbrella. He did Jungle Cruise. Muse, did you ever see Jungle Cruise?
I did not.
That's really surprising. I thought that would be a really good one for you to get high and watch. That's probably one that would probably look
I don't understand why that. No,
you don't think?
Yeah, I don't. I don't
people
get
say
it.
that sometimes.
I don't see the
That's
correlation.
what they say sometimes
at all.
That's what they say. Like, you smoke a little bit, and then you watch the movie, and it's all woo.
No.
What about like whenever you're supposed to listen to a Beatles record back?
Why Jungle? Like, why specifically?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I thought maybe that would be one that you would like. But how they say like, oh, you listen to like a Pink Floyd album or a Beatles album backwards or something like that.
I thought you weren't supposed to do that.
But I think that's where, you get all the crazy messages and stuff like that on.
Oh, yeah, no. See, I wouldn't know.
Maybe you should give it a try.
I'm good.
You're not being very convincing, actually, right now with your denial. Jungle Cruise, and then Moana, of course. The Rock was he was the voice of the big guy in Moana, right? I forgot it. Do you remember the big guy's name in Moana?
No, I never saw Moana either.
Oh, really? Are you not a Disney movie guy?
No, I am. I just haven't seen the newer Disney movies. I like the classics.
Paul, did you see Moana?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I only saw Moana because when I went to Austin for my goddaughter's baptism, went back to my buddy's house for the post-baptism party, and their older daughter, Hazel Batansky, shout out, loves Moana, so I sat there and watched Moana with her. And
it was a popular one.
And I drank a beer. There's a picture of me holding a beer with Hazel kind of like under my arm like this. She's probably like 3 or 4 at the time. Like watching Moana and singing all the songs.
Like
good movie.
Like this song right here? This is from Moana?
Yeah, this one's not really the good one, or at least you're not at the good part of it, Muse.
I don't know. You said pick one. I picked one. You want another one? Let's do another one.
Yeah, what you got? You have something else
I
over
have
there?
the whole soundtrack.
Well, give me something good. There's the one, I love the one when she's like singing to the ocean. It's, I don't know the name of it, but it's really upbeat. The really popular one from Moana.
I didn't see this. I don't know. And I don't have kids or
no worries.
Or
all this delay.
No, that's Hakuna Matata. That's from The Lion King.
That's not exactly what I'm talking about at all. It's singing at the ocean. They're not singing at the ocean, Hakuna Matata. There's
but you said
ocean.
no worries.
There's no ocean in Hakuna Matata.
But it means no worries. You said
I understand.
No worries.
But I meant just move on. But yes.
How about this one?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
You know,
okay, just you know what, Muse, forget it. Don't worry. Let's just kill the music. Forget it. We tried something.
That.
We tried something. Didn't really execute. Our bad. Point is, The Rock, great relationship with Disney because he's done movies there for a lot of years. Makes a lot of sense. Leverage that relationship. Get a TV deal for the XFL. I still don't think anybody's going to watch. Like, how many times do we have to see spring football leagues come and go and fail to realize, like, we just don't have an appetite for it? And it's perplexing, isn't it? I mean, as a country, we are football obsessed. This is an NFL-loving country. It dominates our consciousness. I know in the Southeast, we're more college football than NFL, but nationally, we are an NFL country. It dominates. It is bizarre that for a football-loving country like we are, we just have no appetite for football in the spring, but we just don't. It's almost like we invest all of our energy and emotion and time and money and everything into football in the fall, and when the fall's over, we're like, okay, we're just going to go recharge the batteries. Have some breakfast, middle top off, recharge it. I'm gonna choose not to eat with you. I'm gonna eat by myself. I'm gonna recharge the batteries. We're gonna close, aren't we, Muse? We're gonna close. We're gonna close some.
Yeah.
All right. AFR is brought to you by DraftKings. The Otter had another rough day. Let me check my DraftKings account, Muse. It's not looking good right now. The last 2 days, I think the Otter and Colucci have worn the collar. It's not been good as I check my DraftKings account. But you know what they say. When you're losing, just keep on betting. Yeah, no, they went 0 for again last night. Oh, my God. Otter had the under 203 in the game. That was a rocking chair cover for the over. The Avalanche lost. The Panthers lost. No good there. No good at all. So your boys' DraftKings account's taking a little bit of a beating. Need some winners tonight. But the great news is go to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on any NBA game. The team you pick wins. They'll give you $150 in free bets, but you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. Maybe a good way to bounce back. Use the promo code Baton Rouge in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, that's the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. All right, Muse, hit that disclaimer if you would. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget like Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
All right, let's just run through the baseball scores from last night. Missouri was set to go to Lawrence, Kansas and play the Jayhawks. They canceled that game. Ole Miss was set to hit the road and take on the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Are they the Wolves or are they the Red Wolves? Did they change their name? I can't remember if they're one that changed their name. Anyway, they canceled that game too. Texas A&M was set to host Incarnate Word, and they canceled that game too. Yay, midweek games. Tennessee did play. Played Belmont, beat them 18-0. Georgia played Presbyterian, beat them 18-3. This is like the second to last weekend of the college football season, like the penultimate weekend in college football when it's nothing but crap games nobody wants to see and it's all blowouts. That's what this was like in SEC baseball. Kentucky played Tennessee Tech, beat them 13-0. How about Florida and Florida State? Hat tip to those two schools for playing. Florida beat Florida State 7-5 in Gainesville. Mississippi State Bulldogs, no problem with North Alabama, 14-4. Auburn went on the road, beat Samford 8-4. Vandy hosted Middle Tennessee, beat them 7-2. Ouch. South Carolina at home against Charlotte. They took it on the chin, 8-3. No bueno there in Columbia. And LSU beat Northwestern State 19-7. Of course, the final SEC weekend begins tomorrow for every SEC school. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. A little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro. Got booze questions. Get them in. Ask Taylor next.
AFR.
The Baton Rouge General Express Care locations, they're open right now, just like they are every single day, Monday through Saturday. Well, I guess Monday through Sunday, Sunday to Sunday. Every day of the week, every single day of the week. brgeneral.org. If you got those scrapes or sprains or you need stitches, if it's fever or the flu, colds or COVID, cough, if you need to see a doctor, but you don't need to go to the ER, you can go to the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. There's 3 locations. Dutchtown, which is right next to Dutchtown High. Highland Road, just through the south gates of LSU. And Nicholson, directly across from Tiger Stadium, right next to Torchy's. You can download the Baton Rouge General app. You can check wait times online. You can check in online. The Baton Rouge General Express Care locations, they're walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. To check in online or to see a list of what they treat, log on to brgeneral.org. That's brgeneral.org.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $5,000 off the new 2022 Wagoneer. We have Wagoneers in stock with $5,000 off. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
The 2022 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em, presented by Mockler Beverage, is almost here. Smoke 'em If You Got 'em is an event that raises money to support military veterans and their families. Tickets are $100, and this year's event benefits the Special Forces Charitable Trust. Come enjoy live music, a grill station, a cigar station, a dessert station, a live and silent auction, and so much more. It's the 2022 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage, Sunday, May 22nd at Bent 77. Learn more at smokeembr.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
Wrapping up hour number one. Glad you're with us here. You know the drill. You got booze questions. Get them in. Taylor Calandro joins us, Wine and Spirits Director from Calandro's. Yo, dude, how are you? Thanks for the time.
Good. What's up, man?
Another day. Getting ready for scone and tea tonight over at Oliver Twist. You coming by?
Probably not. We're leaving to go to Paris tomorrow morning. So I don't think I'm going to be able to go tonight.
Oh, what are you going to do in Paris?
Just a little vacation. My wife's due in October with our second kid, and she wanted to go on a nice trip. So
you go to Paris?
Yeah, the airfare and everything is very reasonable right now. I guess not a lot of people are going overseas. So
tell me how the other side lives. I mean, that's incredible. Can't hide money. Wow.
So, oh my God, shut up. So next week, I'm either going to be doing this show from Paris or Amsterdam, and it's going to be like 11 o'clock at night.
Are you still going to join us?
Absolutely. Have you ever had a guest from Paris or Amsterdam?
Actually, yes.
Have you? Okay. Yeah. I was fully planning on it.
So, Feinswag joined us one time from one of those. I want to say Paris. Adam Miller joined us from Latvia, and
pretty impressive.
There have been a couple. There have been a couple of those. Oddly enough, I'll need to go dig through the lineage. But yes, there have been a couple of those overs. Oh, Russ Mitchell, Russ was the one. Russ joined us from a pub in London. That was the one. It was the middle of the night. It was like midnight. Yeah. He joined us drunk as a skunk from a pub in London. It was so good. I need to pull that up.
It's gonna be like 10 or 11 o'clock next week. So there's a good chance I'll have a little sauce in me at that point.
Well, I'll look forward to it. All right, let's get to some questions. You know the drill. You got questions for Taylor? Fire away. You could just text me in the 396-4400, 396-4400. Hey, what's new, by the way? You got anything new percolating?
Well, we just got Basil Hayden Subtle Smoke. It's their new special release. I haven't got to taste it. I think it's exactly what it says, though, Basil Hayden with a little hint of smoke to it. We just got it yesterday, so we hadn't had a chance to try it. We are getting an Old Elk wheat whiskey barrel within the next few days.
In the next few days, you said?
Yeah, hopefully by before the weekend. Just stay tuned on our social media.
Wonderful. All right, Corey Delcom said, ask Taylor, what good whiskey can I drink and not trigger my acid reflux?
Yes, that's a good question. I would stick to lower proof and stay away from anything with a lot of rye in it. I don't know if that's necessarily going to help because I used to have the same problem. It doesn't really bother me that much anymore. And I know people do have that issue where whiskey just immediately destroys their chest and everything. But, yeah, like I said, I'd stay away from spicy grains like rye and lower proof.
Also, you could just eat a whole bunch of those little what are they called? Like Alka-Seltzer or whatever the little chew tablets are? Yeah, Tums. Just eat a whole bunch of Tums before you drink.
I take prescription heartburn medicine now, because I used to eat Tums like candy.
But the problem with the prescription stuff is you need to take it for like several days or weeks, right, before it starts working?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've been taking it for so long because I was eating Tums like Skittles.
Yeah.
So some people just have bad acid reflux. It's terrible if you do. But
yeah. Go to your doctor. Ed Hotard said, ask Taylor, name a smooth gin.
Nolet's gin. So the Nolet family is the Kettle One family. They started with gin. It's called Nolet's. It's a little citrusy. It's not very junipery. So it's going to be a little smoother.
Okay. Jason Bourgeois. By the way, do you mix gin? I've never been a gin guy. Admittedly, never really tried it. You know, gin and juice or gin and tonic. Like, what do you drink with a gin?
I mean, people drink gin martinis. Okay. Gin is a popular spirit to replace vodka in cocktails. I mean, it's basically vodka, but it's just with herbs and stuff, different herbs and stuff. So pretty much any cocktail with vodka you can replace with gin. I'm not a big gin guy either. So
okay. Ask Taylor, this is from Jason Bourgeois. Ask Taylor, do you have a preferred ice mold shape, and if so, why?
I'm kind of impartial. I don't really like ice molds. I think they take too long to melt. If I'm going to use one, I just use a regular sphere. I generally just use cubes of ice, and I only do that in the summer, and the rest of the time I drink my whiskey neat.
See, I don't want the ice to melt, which is why I like a big, thick block.
Right.
It'll just make the spirit a little colder. It'll chill it, essentially.
Yeah. There's a place for it. It's just not my favorite way to drink.
Craig Duke asked Taylor, what's the best absinthe to sip on while Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon is playing in sync with The Wizard of Oz? Bonus, ask Muso, best reefer, to do the same.
That's what I was gonna suggest. I don't know if absinthe is gonna get you where you need to go with that. And the Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz reference. If you pull up Dark Side of the Moon and sync it up with the Wizard of Oz, it allegedly goes in sync with the movie the whole time. So
great.
I've never done it though. Yeah.
Lee Hotard. So what's the best bourbon barrel wine?
Cooper and Thief is really good. The issue I have with bourbon barrel aged wines, they get a little thick and jammy, and I think it's from the bourbon barrel. They're very hard to pair with food, in my opinion. So they're more of a dessert wine than anything. In my opinion.
Costas Plakitis asked Taylor, what's the best or your favorite version of Basil Hayden? What do you think is their best release?
I really liked the regular rye, that green label rye, not the dark rye. I liked the green label rye they did. That was one of their first specialty releases.
It's interesting because I like Basil Hayden. I did not like their dark rye. I did not like their toasted barrel. But I really like Basil Hayden. So when you mentioned the smoked basil, I'm a little leery because I haven't really liked any of their special releases. But I like Basil Hayden. I mean, that's one I recommend all the time to people that are trying to get into whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever get a chance to try the regular green label rye?
I have not, no.
That's a really good little rye. I mean, it's a low proof, but I don't ever see them anymore either. That was a one and done thing, I think. But
Okay.
that was a really nice little rye.
He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. You can follow him on all the social media. He's with us here for a Whiskey Wednesday segment we call Bourbon Dictionary every Whiskey Wednesday in hour number 1. Enjoy, Pelly. Safe travels and all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you next week from somewhere in Europe.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
I'll look forward to it. That's Taylor. How about that? He's going to join us from Paris. We got to pull up the audio of Russ. Do you think you have that handy of Russ in London?
Not handy. I don't even remember which time that was.
It was last fall.
Was it?
He was with some guy from Australia.
Oh my God.
Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Peter. What is his name? Peter or something? And he kept using an Australian. I was like, I'm with my friend Peter.
Didn't he give him the phone? Didn't Russ give the guy the phone?
I'm almost positive that happened, yes. If not, maybe that happened in our minds, and it's so worth it. GMFS Mortgage, always worth it. Hey, look, get pre-qualified today. When interest rates rise, your monthly payment rises. So get pre-qualified today. Start that process today. Don't wait for another interest rate hike. Start that process today with GMFS Mortgage. If you're thinking of buying a home, get pre-qualified. If you're building, if you want to renovate or refi, get pre-qualified today. Start that process right now at GMFS Mortgage, Louisiana's largest local lender. I've bought 2 homes financed with GMFS. We refied last year. I highly recommend you do the same. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. Bryson DeChambeau is withdrawn from the PGA Championship. He's missed over a month recovering from wrist surgery. The next stop for the Luka Doncic show, Game 1 of the NBA's West Finals. He and the Mavericks visit the Warriors tonight in Game 1, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Doncic averaging 31.5 points per game this postseason. The Warriors know there is no slowing him down, so they'll be looking to make him less efficient, says ESPN's Jalen Rose.
If you're the Golden State Warriors, how do you play him? Are you going to now allow him to get in his bag, go one-on-one, and put up big numbers? Or are you going to double and triple and chase him all over the floor and give the opportunity for Finney Smith and Bullock and Jalen Brunson and Dinwiddie to have driving lanes and open shots?
Second round Stanley Cup playoffs, 2 Game 1s tonight. Hurricanes, Rangers, 7 Eastern ESPN TV, then Oilers, Flames at 9:30 Eastern. A 2-year extension on the way for Ohio State's Ryan Day. It'll pay him $9.5 million per year, making him one of the highest paid college football coaches in the country.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. NFL Pro Football Hall of Famer Kevin Mawae, bottom of this hour. We'll do overrated, underrated next segment. And I'm looking forward to having Scott Kushner with us here in hour number 3. Pels, no great luck in the draft lottery last night, but the great luck is that the Lakers went completely belly up this season when they were the preseason odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship. And the top 10 protected pick returned to the Pelicans. So that is the great luck, is that you get the 8th overall pick in a year where you were a playoff team. So we'll talk about what the Pels might do with that pick with Scott Kushner a little more than an hour from right now. One of the things we discussed last week, especially after the Saints signed Jarvis Landry, was the other needs remaining in free agency. And I think you can highlight a few. I think defensive tackle has got to be on that list. Possibly another linebacker, I think, is probably out there. They might have addressed that. We'll see. Quan Alexander's still lingering, and I think there's a good chance they could bring Quan back at the right terms. We've talked about tight end. And one that I mentioned before the draft and have continued to mention is running back. And the Saints have tried. They brought in Sony Michel and I think hoped to sign him, but ultimately he picked the Miami Dolphins. And we've talked about that a good bit and why that, competitively maybe doesn't make a lot of sense for Sony Michel or even financially, but it does put him closer to home. He played high school football about 20 minutes from Hard Rock Stadium. Well, when we were looking at the free agent running backs, there were a few that we looked at. One of them obviously was Sony Michel. And the other sort of top targets that we discussed here a few weeks ago, one of them, you might remember, was Philip Lindsay, the undrafted running back out of Colorado who had a really good start to his season with back-to-back 1,000-yard years for the Denver Broncos and then is just sort of scuttled and scuffled since. Well, Philip Lindsay is off the board. And the Colts, Schefter tweeted it this morning after there were reports. Schefter tweeted, the Colts have officially signed free agent running back Philip Lindsay. And they waived running backs running back, Max Borghi. So Philip Lindsay is officially off the board now. He's a member of the Indianapolis Colts. And if you remember, the guy that I was sort of the most bullish on was Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen had a really good start to his career. He was a 4th-round pick by the Bears. He, back in 2017, a strong rookie year, was an all-pro returner in 2018, and had a knee injury last year, and it cost him a season. He was fighting to come back from that injury, and that's a guy that I would have taken a flyer on. I say would have because of this. I'm going to show the video. So if you're watching on YouTube, just a fair warning that Tariq Cohen was doing a drill and he ruptured his Achilles. We'll play the video, but just fair warning, he does get injured. You can't really see anything, but you do see him fall. He was streaming a workout live on Instagram, and as he was backpedaling, he dropped. He was backpedaling, planted to take off again, and he just fell. And he ruptured his Achilles. So, it's so disappointing, man. An Instagram live feed caught his injury happen with people watching it. Not that it's okay either way, but man, to have people watching while you did it live just sucks. But you feel for him. I mean, it's a guy whose career may well be over. The shelf life of running backs we know is short in the NFL to begin with, and now you have a guy who has battled major knee and now Achilles injuries. It's going to be hard to see him coming back. So I don't know where the answer is, where you go from here. I know a lot of people continue to say Darrell Williams, and considering the way that the Saints have sort of attacked this offseason, signing both Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry, it's not a terrible option. And I do think that the Saints still have to address the running back spot this year, because I know it sounds a little bit like a broken record, but you've got Kamara. We're all anticipating Kamara is going to miss 6 games due to suspension. Mark Ingram is 30 years old, and you don't know really how much he has left in the tank or if you're going to count on Mark Ingram. And after that, it's Dwayne Washington. You're talking about guys like that. Abram Smith is a guy where I think we're hopeful for, undrafted free agent, out of Baylor, who the Saints invested a lot of money, more than $200,000 into him. But when you look at the rest of this list of available free agent running backs after Tariq Cohen, David Johnson, who's 30, Jalen Richard, Devontae Booker, Carlos Hyde, Malcolm Brown. I mean, of all those, Darrell Williams is 27. Darrell Williams is the youngest of all the guys I just mentioned. Latavius Murray's out there, but he's 32 years old now. Present. I mean, you let him walk prior. Do you really want him 2 years removed? You had Devontae Freeman here last year, and you cut him. You really bringing him back? I don't know. Maybe Alex Collins, Wayne Gallman, a couple of 27-year-old running backs that are available. You just don't have a great option. With Darrell Williams, you're talking about a guy who's from New Orleans, who has been part of a Super Bowl championship team, who knows how to play his role. He has never been the feature back in an offense, but knows how to play his role within that offense. So. Maybe Darrell Williams might be the next target. He was, last year played for the Chiefs on a 1-year, $1.6 million deal. So you want to talk about an affordable option, that could be it for Darrell Williams, for the Saints, if he kind of wants to continue that trend of getting the band back together. When I mention 27 years old, keep in mind, and this matters, because when you look at Darrell Williams' time at LSU, he was never the bell cow. Right, he was there behind Fournette and Geis. So he was never the guy taking 200 carries in a season. And in his 4 NFL seasons, the most rushing attempts he's had in a year was last year in Kansas City, where he had 144. So as a rookie, he carried the ball 13 times, 41 times in year 2, 39 times in year 3. And then, of course, Clyde got hurt last year. And so he ended up with 144 carries. But for his career, he's played in 51 games and carried the ball just 237 times. So you're looking at a guy that is, even at 27, has to be considered a young 27 because he just hasn't taken a big beating. And I could think of far worse options to bring into camp on a rookie minimum deal. And again, Darrell Williams would not have been my first choice. I mentioned guys who have been more productive in their NFL careers than Darrell Williams, but Sony Michel is signed. Philip Lindsay is signed. Tariq Cohen's injured. I don't know that you have a better free agent option right now. I mentioned Darrell Williams. His college career kind of was similar to the way his pro career went. 64 attempts as a freshman, 60 as a sophomore, 52 as a junior, and then in 2017, he had 145 rushing attempts. So, it wasn't until his fourth year that he actually went over 100 attempts. So he only had 321 career attempts in college. He's got just over 200 career attempts in the NFL. So 27 and a young 27 because he hasn't taken a beating. That could be a guy who could fit a lot of roles for you. He could play special teams as well. Darrell Williams may be an option for the New Orleans Saints at running back. Stand by. Stay tuned because they need an option there, and he may be the best one available. All right, it's after further review. We'll do overrated, underrated. Kevin Mawae, bottom of this hour. Jarvis Landry was on the Saints in-house podcast, talked about signing with New Orleans, and how he fits in the offense. We'll get to that a bit later in the show as well. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Tell you about it every single day. Michelli, 75 years in business. At Michelli, they like to say, we show the world what measurement can do. Learn more at Michelli.com. It's all about keeping you more efficient. Let's say you have gauges that need to be calibrated. Why put them in a box and mail them off to a lab in Chicago? Jobs that should take 7 to 10 days that are taking 6 to 8 weeks. Call Michelli. They'll swing by your office, pick up the gauges, calibrate. They can even come calibrate on site if they need to. Maybe you have equipment that can't leave. They can help. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, Kevin Mawae, bottom of this hour. Overrated, underrated is next. Stay here.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy and stress-free process. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
3 people walk into a bar. The first 2 order the same old margs. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and a crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $5,000 off the new 2022 Wagoneer. We have Wagoneers in stock with $5,000 off. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad to have you hanging out with us here. By the way, Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Need a place to watch the NBA action tonight. Pluckers always a great spot. And remember, of course, they've got trivia at Pluckers, both locations, starting at 8 o'clock every single Wednesday. Kevin Mawae in 13 minutes from right now. Really looking forward to always welcoming on a Pro Football Hall of Famer, great friend of the show. The Louisiana Line Camp is coming up. So we'll talk about that, how young football players can participate and get coached up by a Pro Football Hall of Famer. And we'll talk some LSU and some NFL as well with Kevin. Looking forward to that coming up here in about less than 15 minutes from right now. But right now, something we normally do at the bottom of the hour on a Wednesday of hour 2, but because we got Kevin there, we're just going to flip it. It's called Overrated, Underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Presented by Cellivate. Cellivate is a revolutionary health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement.
All right, Muse.
We got today over there.
Take it away.
No. We have a set way we start the segment every week where you talk about what flavor Cellivate you have, where it ranks in your top 4.
Oh, this is...
And then you open it and make the most it makes the most satisfying sound ever.
Yes, this is the Mandarin Orange that I have here today. Mandarin Orange is my second favorite Cellivate flavor. Watermelon Blast.
Still.
Is the GOAT.
Nobody has unseated it yet.
No, and won't.
Wow,
I've had them all.
Leader in the clubhouse then forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, until and unless they release a new flavor. My ranking is Watermelon Blast, Mandarin Orange, Elderberry Bliss, Lemon Ginger. But, as I mentioned last week, I would like to try Lemon Ginger in a Kentucky Mule. I would like to mix that with a bourbon. And may give that a go, actually, to see how it works out.
Elderberry Bliss sounds fantastic.
It's really good. It's like grape, but it's very good. Reduce the brain fog and stress. Got antioxidants, cellular support. Don't just hydrate.
I got to all the time. Yep, got to tap it.
Cellivate.
And now we can get started with overrated or underrated. And we'll start overrated or underrated Draft scouting combines. NFL combine, NBA combine.
NBA combine, worthless. Worthless. NFL combine, so overrated. No need at all. The NFL combine, as I say this over and over again, the 40-yard dash, the Wonderlic, all of that, overrated, doesn't matter. The medical and the interviews, horrendously underrated by the public because that's all the teams really care about. If you look at Damone Clark would have been a top 50 pick in the draft. Would have been a top 50 pick in the draft. Possibly a late first rounder. The right team fell in love with Lewis Cine. Lewis Cine ends up going 32 overall, much to Jimmy Ott's joy. The right team who needed a linebacker loved Damone Clark. You only got, let's say you only have a first round grade on 17 players, but you're picking 31, 32, whatever it may be, and you're gonna pick someone here who doesn't have a first round grade. You can take a player you really like. You fall in love with Damone Clark, he could have been that guy. Guy had to have neck surgery.
Yeah.
Goes in round 4 or 5, whatever it was. I mean, lost 7 figures. So that part of the combine, underrated, very underrated by the public. 40-yard dash, broad jump, bench press, who cares? Overrated. Remember the time Kevin Durant bench pressed 100, couldn't bench press 185?
I do remember that.
Couldn't bench press 185. Really has slowed Durant's career. You hate to see it.
Yeah, he's been terrible. Overrated or underrated? Bugs Bunny.
Underrated.
Any just because, or I mean,
nope. Underrated.
Underrated. Overrated or underrated? Novels.
Bugs. A lot of staying power. Been around a long time. You don't stick around that long without being friggin' elite. But sometimes these new generations, they get caught on your Marvel people and all this nonsense and hullabaloo, whatever. I'm not saying that it's not good or doesn't have merit, but I suspect that when was Bugs Bunny born?
Oh,
you got a Google machine in front of you. Look up Bugs Bunny. I'm going to say 1952.
May even be older than that.
Maybe so.
Late 1930s.
Okay.
1938.
All right. So we're coming up. We're at 90 years on Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Right? Dude's almost 100 years old. You're still asking me about him. Underrated.
Stud.
Overrated. What else? Pre-World War II. What else are we talking about here in popular culture that still resonates with childrens that started in 1938?
Swing dancing.
We're talking about children.
Oh.
Use. Like young children that like cartoons.
Okay. Overrated or underrated? Novels.
This is a tough one for me because I don't like novels. But I try not to have my opinion of something cloud my judgment in overrated, underrated. Because there can be things I don't like that other people do, and I have to accept that, acknowledge that. I think creativity is a good thing. Creative writing, and some people enjoy that. I'll go ahead and say that novels are properly rated. It's not a cop-out. It's just that there's people that enjoy them, and that's great. There's people that don't, and there will always be that option. There are people who are very good creative writers and write novels and do a wonderful job at it. It just doesn't happen to be the thing that I enjoy. I prefer to read nonfiction.
Overrated or underrated? Bruce Willis.
Muse, do you watch Nickelodeon at night?
You mean like Nick at Night?
Yeah.
No, not really.
So years ago, Nick at Night were things like I Love Lucy and the Carol Burnett Show and yada yada. Now, Nick at Night is Friends.
Wait, I lied. I do watch that actually because I watch Friends all the time.
Every night before I go to bed, I run Erica's bathwater and I turn on the TV in the bathroom and I put it on Channel 30, which is Nickelodeon, because she watches reruns of Friends while she bathes at night and relaxes and all that sort of stuff. And last night or 2 nights ago, when I ran Erica's bathwater and turned on the TV, Bruce Willis was making out with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. It was Ross's girlfriend's dad in a couple episodes, yeah.
because he did both Die Hard and Made Out with Jennifer Aniston, that versatility, underrated. Good on you, bro. Made Out with Jennifer Aniston in her prime while she was married to Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Dude's underrated. Big time underrated.
That's overrated or underrated.
Presented by Celevate. Don't just hydrate. Celevate. It's a fully focused, fundamentally different energy supplement. Celevate is a clean combination of well-studied botanicals, nootropics, antioxidants, and cellular energizers, specifically formulated to work at the most fundamental level, your cells. I do have people ask me every day, like, hey, man, where can I get Celevate? So, Rouse's, Mathern's, but not available yet at Rouse's in Baton Rouge, which is such a bummer. We got to get our Rouse's folks on that. So Mathern's in Baton Rouge, I'm told, does have Celevate right now. But Rouse's are my people, man. You know that. And we got to get Celevate there in the Rouse's in BR. But if you're outside of BR, you can find Celevate at Rouse's. Rouse's, Mathern's, or Celevate.com. Celevate, Celevate.com. All right, what we got? Oh, are you ready for this? Are you ready for it, Muse? It's coming up. This is about to be a commercial break that people in Baton Rouge talk about for years to come. Kevin Mawae, Pro Football Hall of Famer. He jumps aboard with us next. We still got Tigers in the pros. Also, earlier today, the NCAA Division I Council did amend rules as it pertains to conference championship games and signing class sizes. That may not sound interesting. Trust me, it matters. I'll explain why in about 30 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. I've told you once, I've told you a million times, there is nobody who markets quite like Darren James. Here's an example.
Well, operator, won't you put me on through? I gotta sell my home down in Baton Rouge. Hurry up, won't you put him on the line? I gotta call Darren James just one more time. Whoa, selling Baton Rouge.
Folks, I may not be a Nashville recording artist, but I'm Darren James, and I can sell your home.
My guy said selling Baton Rouge. There is nobody who markets quite like Darren James, and what that means is there's no realtor that's going to market your home quite like Darren James. That's how he gets results. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret.
The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Over the years, we have been very fortunate here, 12 years here. People send us a lot of stuff. Posters, artwork, trinkets, bobbleheads, a lot of different stuff. And when I leave, none of it is coming with me. Whatever day that is, when I'm no longer working at the station, there is one thing that I will consider in my radio career one of my most prized possessions, and it is currently over my right shoulder, and it is courtesy of the man who's joining us right now on the phone. It's the gift that Vince Young gave him and the rest of the offensive line with the Tennessee Titans when he was named Rookie of the Year. It's a blown-up Sports Illustrated cover autographed by Vince Young that says, "Kevin, thanks for the block." Kevin would be Pro Football Hall of Famer Kevin Mawae, who's good enough to join us now. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's so good to hear your voice and to be on your show again, man.
Dude, it's always our pleasure, man. I'm thrilled to have you every time we can. There's a lot I want to talk about. First, give us an update on how last year went for you in the transition, obviously, from Arizona State to the NFL.
Yeah, it was a big learning curve for me. Everybody thinks just because you played a bunch of years in the NFL, you know everything, and certainly not the case. A big learning curve as far as just understanding the detail with which you put into the coaching and prepping guys for the game and all that kind of stuff. Learned a lot more about football than most people would think. Particularly as in the back end of the defense. I was very familiar with blocking the box and linebacker movement stuff, but understanding secondary coverages and stuff. So it's still a growing process, but it was a good transition. I'm with a great staff. Frank Wright put together a bunch of good guys. Great offensive line coach that I'm working with, Chris Strasser, who coached college ball for a bunch of years and then has been here for the last 3, but was with Denver Broncos for a little while before this, and I couldn't be in a better place with a better staff.
So fill us in a little bit on, because I know you're going to be participating in the Louisiana Line Camp, which I want to talk about. So fill us in kind of on what the schedule is like for you all right now. Draft is in the rearview mirror. I know this weekend was rookie minicamp. So pick us up, like, what's a day-to-day like for you right now? What's it like?
Yeah, so our players are in the building now, and we're in phase 2 of the off-season workouts, which allows you to be on the field with the players. Come in the morning, and we have meetings as a staff to finalize our practice scripts for the day, and basically it's walk-through practices to go on the field, and we'll have like 20-minute individual period where we work with our players and the fundamentals and are teaching the schemes that we're going to put in for that day, and then We have like a 30-play walkthrough that's against each other. Really, we service each other. I mean, the backup offensive guys act as the scout team members for the offense. We're not allowed to put defense against the offense yet. That starts in phase 3, which comes in the first week of June. The players get out of the building by 1 o'clock, and then we meet with the rookies at 3 to 4:30, and then they're done. Put in normal like 7 to 5 job like everybody else, but it's all X's and O's. Fortunately, the evaluation period of rookies and free agents and pre-draft, that's all over with. It's all ball now, and I'm just trying to get these guys ready so when we come back for training camp in July, we can hit the ground running.
He is Kevin Mawae. He goes by any of a number of different titles right now professionally. It's assistant offensive line coach for the Indianapolis Colts. And so that's really phenomenal that because of you and all you've accomplished and what you've done, the fact that you're still giving back and can participate in the Louisiana Line Camp is so cool. I think you and I have talked about it. I think every high school offensive lineman over the last 30 years in the state has gone to line camp. I know I did when I was at Catholic in the 90s. What's that week like for the participants now?
Yeah, it hasn't changed since you were there.
It's so cool, man.
It's 18th through the 21st. First day you get in there, you check in and all that, and we actually practice that first evening and have meetings that night. It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then half day on Tuesday. That Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're actually practicing 3 times a day. It's all fundamental run, pass protection, technique stuff on the offensive side. On defense, they work their own defensive stuff. Now, it's one big camp, but the offense and defense lines kind of run separately. It's not a competition camp like these Nike openings and stuff like that. This is truly a technique camp to learn and teach the fundamentals of offensive line play, understanding how to move your feet, your eyes, hand placement, how to carry your body in both the pass protection and the run game, and working together units with the combination blocks and stuff it's the ABC's fundamentals of how to play offense and defensive line, and that's what this camp has been about. Tell everybody it's not a fun camp. Don't bring your bathing suit and beach towel because we're not going to the swimming pool, and bring you a lot of baby powder and Boudreaux's butt paste. Cause,
I was just about
you know
to say.
It's the middle of the summer. Things start chafing. We want to make sure the kids are okay to good to go, and bring you 2 sets of cleats because your first set's not going to dry out till the next morning anyways. So it's a work camp is what it is. And it's all based on fundamentals and teaching guys how to be fundamentally sound in their position.
It's so good, man. I was about to say, make sure you bring your body glide or your butt paste because, you will chafe, and make sure that you have dry socks and dry cleats.
I can only say that the butt paste, in Louisiana, because nobody else knows what it is. But everybody from Louisiana knows what it is.
Is Boudreaux's butt paste not like a national thing?
I'm sure it is, but everybody knows in Louisiana.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And you read Desitin, it's the same thing, but Boudreaux's butt paste sounds a whole lot better.
Yeah, it does. It flows right off the tongue down here. I'm fired up talking about the line camp. Kevin Mawae will be there. I know Coach Pete Jenkins, who will be with us in a few days as well here on the show, will be there. June 18th through the 21st. Registration is open right now. Kevin, and I remember we went as an entire team, the whole Catholic High offensive and defensive lines went together. So do you guys individually register, or do schools, if coaches are listening right now, they register their whole unit?
So players can individually register. We encourage coaches to send their entire unit. So Catholic High still brings a big contingency. Jesuit High School, Woodlawn, the bigger schools in the state tend to bring all their guys. And the great thing about that is we keep you in your group together, so you're working with your teammates and you're communicating with your teammates and you're rooming with your teammates. And it's an opportunity for you guys to build that bond going into training camp that you can really only build with each other working together. And so we do it. We actually have a high school from I want to say Maryland that comes down. Anthony Zaraway used to be at Catholic High School. He brings his group of kids down from up there in Maryland now. But there seems to be 20, 30 strong. Catholic High usually has 30 to 40 kids there. But if you're just there and you're hearing about this and you're a kid out in funky Louisiana and you can't get all your teammates together, sign up for yourself. We'll put you in a group and you'll get better either way.
Online, it's OFFDEF Line Camp. It's an offensive defensive line camp. OFFDEF Line Camp is where you can go to the website. That's how you can find out more about the camp and all the particulars. Now you can register again, OFFDEFlinecamp.com. Kevin Mawae is with us here for just a couple more minutes. Hey, I saw also that you were in Baton Rouge out at practice and got to meet Brian Kelly. What were your impressions? I would assume first time you met him?
I actually met him several years ago. Notre Dame did a player development session, a 2-day deal where they brought professionals in from different realms of the business world. I was just coming out of the league at the time, and so got to go up there to talk about the NFL, being the past president, stuff like that. So I met him briefly then. He played it off like he's, oh yeah, I remember, but I'm not sure he really did remember. But that's my first time actually just talking to him, and I'm happy for him, excited about what he's going to bring to the program. And, I get questioned a lot about my thoughts on him. My thing is nobody cares as long as you win. So that's all that matters. The bottom line.
What were your impressions? So I'm guessing, I know you were out there for a practice, like you had to watch them practice, and I'm not asking for like an X and O breakdown. Just what were your impressions watching the staff run a practice with this team?
Well, it looked different. I've been out there with lesser staff, and I was out there with Coach O's staff, and I think the intensity level is kind of somewhere, on the higher level of that. I certainly felt like the guys were being pressed at every situation, and that's where you get better. The biggest growth you have is when you're being stressed the most, and it seemed like that's where they were at. Of course, I always lean to go watch the offensive line, and Brad Davis is doing a great job with those guys, and so I was impressed. And then, of course, I got to see Jaden Daniels, who I was with at Arizona State for 3 years, and happy to see him in the purple and gold. And like I said, I was out there for a 2-hour practice, and I thought things looked good. And I know they finished up strong and had a good spring game, so they carried over into the fall.
All right. Give me a thought, if you would, on Jaden Daniels. As you mentioned, you were there at Arizona State as a sports staff member, as an analyst while he was a QB. Give me a thought on that transition with him coming here.
It's going to be a great environment for him. I think he's going to thrive athletically. He has the ability to make guys miss, make plays with his feet. He's got a decent arm, and he can hit the receivers. But he's not going to sit back in the pocket and get beat up. That's for sure. If he has a window to go, he'll make something happen. And just by him being on the roster is going to bring the Tigers 2 more wins easily. I just think because he's that kind of an athlete. Now, of course, you got to shake it out and see who starts to, but he is not like the other guys that are there, as in terms of like he's more of a move around, move the pocket, and he'll sit in the pocket and throw the ball around. But any sniff of danger, he's out and he'll make some plays with his legs for sure.
You also got to block in your career. Remind me if I'm wrong, but you were blocking for Chris Johnson his 2,000-yard season, correct?
I was. That was my last year.
I thought I remember that. Okay. Jonathan Taylor, your offensive line this year in Indy led the way for a guy that led the NFL in yards from scrimmage with more than 2,100 yards. What was it like, obviously, doing it as a player, and then now seeing your unit pave the way as coach?
It's pretty neat to be around it. Jonathan Taylor, when people, if you don't know him, he's a better person than he's a football player, and that makes it even more special. He reminds me a lot of Curtis Martin, whom I blocked for, won a rushing title with. He's faster than Curtis, not quite as stocky as his, but has some breakaway speed. He's not 4.24 like Chris Johnson was, but people aren't going to catch him from behind. So he's kind of like good mix in between those two guys. He's a special running back, special talent, and even better, he does a great job in his pass protection, which is important at this level for sure. Expecting big things out of him. We had to replace some parts on the offensive line this year through free agency and the draft, but we have the core nucleus of our guys with Quentin Nelson coming back, coming off another All-Pro year. Ryan Kelly with another Pro Bowl season, and Braden Smith. He got paid heavy last year. Everybody's expecting big things out of him, and he should have been in the Pro Bowl, and he's going to be there soon. So we got three important pieces up front. Of course, we brought Matt Ryan in. That's going to help us out. Everybody's excited about that, and it's just going to add to the arsenal that we have with Jonathan Taylor.
Louisiana Line Camp is coming up in June, the 18th through the 21st. LouisianaLineCamp.com. I spelled it out, the OFFDF, but you can just go to LouisianaLineCamp.com. Spell it out, LouisianaLineCamp.com. If you want to learn more, if you have a high school, it's all high school ages, right?
All high school, rising 9th graders through rising 12th graders. They do allow some 8th graders. It's kind of like on a face-to-face cases, depending on the kid's size and maturity level and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I would recommend it for any kid that's looking to get better. It's a great camp. It's the longest running offense-defense line camp in the South that we know of. I think this is the 37th year in existence. Last year we had almost 600 kids. We're hoping to get about as many more this year. Numbers are looking really good for us. It's going to be another great camp.
Sponsored by Boudreaux's Butt Paste. We got to get Boudreaux's Butt Paste on board.
We really do. We need to get a sponsorship. Boudreaux's Butt Paste and something else. I don't know. Mary Lee Donuts.
I love it. I'll see if I can make a call. You're the best, man. It's great to hear from you. We'll be in touch, all right?
All right, sounds great, Matt. Thanks for having me. You guys take care.
Thanks, man. We'll see you. That's Kevin Mawae, assistant offensive line coach now with the Indianapolis Colts, Pro Football Hall of Famer. And I'm telling you, this is the one thing. When I leave here, whenever that is, this is the one thing I'm taking with me. And if you're listening on radio, you can't see it, but it is a blown-up Sports Illustrated cover when Vince Young was named NFL Rookie of the Year. Most of the time, if you win an award and you give your offensive line a gift, watches? What else do people get?
Man, I can't remember what quarterback it was. Someone gave segways to the entire offensive line.
Segways.
A good one.
Yeah. Luggage.
Luggage, laptops, computers, things like that.
Good stuff. Vince Young gave his offensive line, including future Pro Football Hall of Famer Kevin Mawae, a blown-up copy of his Sports Illustrated, signed to Kevin, thanks for the block. Vince Young.
Did he use the number 4 instead of spelling out 4?
Yes. It's the numeral 4.
It's perfect. That's perfect.
It's the numeral 4.
It is perfect.
This is the only thing I'm taking with me. Everything else that I've ever accumulated in this career, here. Muse, you can have it all. It's yours.
Okay.
It's yours, Muse. Everything. You can have it. But this is coming with me. This was sitting in Kevin's attic. This beautiful gem. This beautiful piece of art in history. He's like, I don't want it. Take it. I was like, okay. It's mine. It's coming with me. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. 24 flavors. Old habits die hard. 26 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. What more could you possibly want? I know. How about trivia? That's tonight, every Wednesday. 5 rounds, live-action trivia. Get your team together, test your knowledge, general knowledge, and win Pluckers gift cards. So, eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, and win Pluckers gift cards with trivia every single Wednesday. So again, by either location, Nicholson just south of campus or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. LSU baseball with a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Plan accordingly to watch the games at either Pluckers location. They're open till midnight or later every night of the week at Pluckers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery, Uber Eats and DoorDash. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Amuso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
The drills portion of the NBA Scouting Combine gets underway tomorrow. A couple LSU Tigers will be present. One of them, of course, being Tari Eason. That should come as no surprise. But, so look, they do the final call-up from the G League Elite Camp for the Combine. And Darius Days earned the final call-up from that G League Elite Camp and will participate in the NBA Draft Combine.
Attaboy.
Major League Baseball last night, the Yankees got a victory over the Baltimore Orioles. DJ LeMahieu at the top of the order was 1 for 4 with a single, RBI, and a run scored.
Where's the song?
Oh, man.
Oh.
Next time.
I'm stunned that you forgot.
DJ's going to get plenty more hits, and we'll play it.
Surprised, stunned you forgot the Yankee player.
Yesterday, it's because you wore the collar. Today, I actually mentioned he did good things, and it's nothing. Anyway, Alex Bregman last night, 1 for 4 with a single as well. Also scored a run, drew a walk as well. Bregman and the Astros, big winners last night in Fenway Park. No comment? No comment on that? Yeah.
I see what you're doing there. You're just trying to throw me off your scent.
The Round Rock Express beat the Sugarland Space Cowboys 5-2 last night.
They're not the Skaters anymore.
Space Cowboys is still pretty good. Josh
Only
Smith,
if you play the Steve Miller song.
Oh man, what is the name of it? I cannot think of it now. I know exactly what you're talking about. People call me the Space Cowboy. Call me a gangster.
Joker. The Joker.
The
oh my
Joker.
God.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God. My brain just went away.
Completely blacked out there. Josh Smith last night for the Round Rock Express.
I'm singing it in my head like, I'm a Joker, I'm a smoker. Midnight Toker, just like you, Muse.
Dear Lord. 2 for 4 with a run scored. I'm going to do this one more time. Thank you. I was about to say for Josh Smith, 2 singles for Smith. Parker Bug last night for
Look
the
at
Jumbo
Josh Smith's
Shrimp.
flow in there, in that picture.
Is it good?
It's great flow in that picture.
Parker Bug last night for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp in AAA. Perfect. Oh, well, actually, sorry, it was not a perfect inning. It was a hitless inning. 1 inning, no hits, walked 2, struck out 2, did not give up a run. Another stellar start for Parker Bug, 2.84 ERA. And then finally, the Memphis Redbirds, Kramer Robertson last night. 1 for 4 with a home run. Obviously drove in a run, scored twice, and drew a walk. That is Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, thrill her with a gift in the red box. Remember, graduation season is here. If you have that graduate on your list, a beautiful selection of watches, any piece of jewelry, and of course, as always, if it is time to pop the question, gentlemen, the Lee Michaels experience with every diamond purchase. LMFJ.com.
AFR.
Put a button here on hour number 2. Always love telling you about our friends over at Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. And I've told you the story a couple of times now. My buddy whose wife noticed she had low tire pressure, he said, hey, take it to Shawbills. They had never been before. They treated her great, fixed the tire within 15 minutes, would not let her pay. I tell you all the time. They will repair your tire free of charge, even if you didn't buy it there. It's just part of the way they do business because they believe in treating their customers like family, and that'll create loyalty, and it has for 50 years. What a novel concept about the way to do business. That's Shawbills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. Maybe you're taking your family on that family vacation before you hit the road. Make sure you have your oil changed, your tires rotated, the engine checked up. Shawbills can take care of all of it. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Bryson DeChambeau is withdrawn from the PGA Championship as he continues his recovery from wrist surgery. The Mavericks in the NBA's West Finals for the first time in 11 years visit the Warriors in Game 1 tonight. One of the keys for Dallas is a fast start against the high-flying Warriors, explains Mavs coach Jason Kidd.
Understanding the game of runs. They're going to go on a run. We mentally have to keep our composure and stay the course. And then the second big thing is just we got to capitalize on turnovers. If they turn it over, we got to be able to put the ball in the basket.
Game 1 tonight, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Boston's Marcus Smart, mid-foot sprain, probable for Game 2 of the East Finals tomorrow against the Heat. Al Horford, doubtful due to health and safety protocols. 2 second-round NHL playoff series begin tonight. Rangers-Hurricanes, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV. That's followed by Flames-Oilers at 9:30 Eastern. A 2-year extension for Ryan Day, with Ohio State making him one of the highest-paid coaches in college football. $9.5 million annually in that contract.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you have in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tumplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Just thought of something.
It's hump day.
Saw the Chili Peppers a few weeks ago at Yaz Fest.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Like the Yaz flute.
Hump day.
They did not play the Humpty Bump.
It's hump day.
And it would have been really cool if they did.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Muse, do you think a lot of AFR fans would have just gone bonkers there at Yaz Fest had Chili Peppers play the Humpty Bump?
Hump day.
Yeah, maybe. Probably, yeah.
It's hump
You
day.
wanted to throw shade, but there were a lot of people there that were like, scone.
Mike,
I love our NOLA people.
What day is it, Mike?
I love our NOLA people. We've done good stuff on 100.3. It's been since 2016 we launched there. 6 years.
It's hump day.
6 años.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Lots of people in the 504 making us part of their day.
Hump day.
Love all my NOLA peeps.
It's hump day.
And my BR peeps.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And our Alexandria peeps.
Hump day.
Ain't nobody forgetting about you up there.
It's hump day.
Love to send law.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And this what you do? It's a heart. You know what you do?
Yeah, some people do that.
Love to send law.
It's hump day.
The T-Bob and I are doing scone and tea tonight.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hope I get to kill him again.
Hump day.
That was so much fun. I dressed up in a costume, and I waited for the perfect moment, and I slit his throat with a lightsaber. He had no idea it was coming. It was so good.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
So good. He's so bitter, too, that I got that on him. He thinks like he's this great swordsman because he plays with a lightsaber.
It's hump day.
All right, let's go. So one other quick story. So Cliff Nelson, good friend, fan of the show, comes, hangs out with us a lot of times over at Oliver Twist. Well, Cliff was a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. But like they train you in this stuff. They train you in so T-Bob on the night of the thing with the lightsabers on May the 4th. After the show, we're hanging out, and T-Bob's like, wielding his lightsaber and going, doing all this stupid stuff. He's like, I could beat any of you in a sword fight. And Cliff goes, bro, do you not realize I'm a Marine? And T-Bob's like, okay, I can beat you or you, but not him. I'm like, Jesus. Anyway, we have fun. Y'all come hang out with us tonight at Oliver Twist on Perkins Road. The break-even bottle tonight is Eagle Rare. $4 pours of Eagle Rare tonight at Oliver Twist. We'll see you there at 7 o'clock. So Scott Kushner in about 10 minutes from right now. We'll talk some Pels. Draft lottery was last night. Pels will pick 8th. So what do they do with the pick? We'll talk about that with Kushner in just a bit. The NCAA Division I Council met today. This is not unexpected. This was expected. But two things that the Division I Council approved today that have some pretty far-reaching consequences as far as significance. One, the Division I Council relaxed the restrictions for FBS football conference championship games. Also, FBS conferences can determine their championship game participants. And all council actions they met are not final until today's meeting ends. So basically, it had been a rule prior that you have to have divisions in order to have a football conference championship game. Your conference had to have divisions. It basically kind of punished the Big 12 when they went down to 10 members and no longer had their conference championship game. Well, that's no more. You don't have to have divisions. You can do whatever you want to have your championship game. Top 2 teams, however you want to do it, they basically relaxed that restriction. The other really, and this one I would say is even more significant, because if we're being completely honest, the conference championship games, I kind of feel like whatever, right? I mean, the committee is going to do what it wants to do at the end of the season, however it wants to do it. And it's part of the reason why they have the autonomy to do whatever they want. They're going to basically come to their conclusion and then define the roadmap. So that at least gives them clearance to do so. This is way more significant. The Division I Council decided that D1 football annual signing and initial counter limits have been removed for the next 2 academic years. Let me explain. Right now, in college football, you're able to sign a class of 25. That's it. It's a hard cap at 25. Now, you can backfill. So what it means is if you have, and I'm not trying to confuse you, I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, but you'll understand why this is relevant. So let's say you sign 23, well, you have 2 open spots. In the next year, you could sign 27. You could backfill those 2 spots from the previous year. But it's rare that you would ever have a year where you sign 15 instead of 25, and so one year you're signing 35 instead of 25. It's just, that's not an appropriate way to build a roster. Nobody does that because of the amount of turnover. So this started, the NCAA put in that hard cap of 25. They call it the Houston Nut Rule, because signing classes had started to get so bloated with teams over-signing. And then in 2009, Houston Nutt, when he was at Ole Miss, signed 37 players. 37. And the NCAA looked and went, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, we've got to put a stop to this behavior. And so they put the hard cap in to where you could only sign 25. Everybody hard capped at 25 initials. So that would include a transfer, right? A transfer counts as an initial 25. And while the spirit of that makes a lot of sense, what has happened, especially in the transfer portal era, is with the initial 25, teams aren't able to get to 85 scholarship players. let me spell this out for you with using LSU as an example. So we all know for the bowl game, they had, 39 scholarship players available. There were more scholarship players on the roster because you had some guys that just were hurt or didn't play in the game. Like Garrett Nussmeier was not available for the game, scholarship player, but he's still on the roster. Guys that were hurt and didn't play in the game. Keyshawn Butte would be an example there. The number was actually in the low 50s of scholarship players because you had opt-outs, you had transfers, you had guys going to the draft. After the season, the number was in the low 50s. Well, add your 25, you're still only in the 70s. You can't hit 85. You can't build with that hard cap a full roster. Now, remember, this year, the NCAA allowed teams to sign 1-for-1 over 25 up to 7. So LSU is able to sign 32, right? Your 25 plus 7 transfers, and that was done to try to make up for a lot of the players you lost with the portal and with all COVID and how everything happened and sort of messed up rosters. So in removing the cap, the counter limit for the next 2 years, it's basically going to let teams and coaches sign as many players as they have to get back to 85. Because right now, you can't get to 85. So if you were in the mid-50s and you signed 25, now you're at 80, you're still 5 under the 85. And then what happens when you have an opt-out, you have an injury, as happens during a season? A guy decides to transfer mid-season. Well, you can't go add players. It's too late. You can't go add scholarship players to your roster for the season. So now your numbers keep dwindling. And now you're looking more like an NFL roster with numbers in the 50s instead of 85, which is what you should have for college. So in removing these limits, it's going to allow coaches to build their rosters back up to 85. Are you going to have situations where players basically are cut? Yes. Yes, you will. That happens already. If it's a medical retirement, if it's, hey, you should go look somewhere else. But it's also going to be better for college football because you will have full rosters, which were just decimated the last 2 years because of COVID and transfer portal. The changing landscape of college football has necessitated a lot of changes in looking at the way that the structure happens and rules are done, and this is one of them, and I think it's a very good decision that they're making. It's for 2 years, for the next 2 academic years, where they're lifting the initial counter limits. I don't expect that you're going to see 40-man signing classes because it's not going to be necessitated. But you're going to see classes like LSU had this past year in the low 30s, and it's going to be essential to get your numbers back in line to 85, which you need to have. So I applaud the Division I Council. I think it's a good decision today. It was needed. I'm glad they did it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break, come back and talk to Scott Kushner. Pels are picking 8th. What do they need with that pick? We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Look for the big yellow trucks and vans with the giant clock on the side. Y'all, it's here. I mean, it is 91 degrees in Baton Rouge today. Heat index pushing triple digits. Don't go through the summer months without having your AC cleaned up and inspected. I mean, that box sits on the side of your house 24/7, 365. 100-degree temps, rain, humidity, dust, dander, bugs. It would greatly benefit your unit to make sure that it's cleaned and running efficiently for the warm weather months. River City's 1 Hour Air can do that for you for less than $100. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle, and you'll never pay over MSRP. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. and we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
The 8th pick will be made by the New Orleans Pelicans.
New Orleans receives this pick from the LA Lakers because of the Anthony Davis trade.
The Anthony Davis trade. The Lakers got their summer camp championship, and it's the gift that keeps on giving for the Pellies. Scott Kushner, good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes to react to it, talk about what the Pels are going to do with that 8th pick. How are you, dude?
I'm doing fine, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well. So when the deputy commissioner opened up the envelope and I saw it was the Pelicans logo, I went, God, oh! What was your reaction?
I thought that was actually pretty good. I mean, it means they didn't drop down. I guess we already knew that they weren't 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But that certainly, I mean, this is house money, man. Like, you were really, this was, even Griff himself was basically like, we never thought this pick was going to convey into a top 10 pick. Like, when they traded for it, and certainly when they traded it last summer with the top 10 protection, there was no indication that that was going to be a thing that happened. So it's okay to get a little greedy, but yeah, the consolation prize of the number 8 pick when you had a playoff team to begin with is pretty strong.
I mean, isn't the Lakers just imploding the Pelicans winning the lottery?
Yeah, I mean, literally, like it could not have worked out any better for them, and the fact that they kind of knocks him into that position by beating them 3 times in the last 2 months really added to it also. So it was, yeah, I mean, it really is just a huge upset when you consider where we were this time last year. The idea that, the Pelicans are picking in the lottery, but it's because they had the Lakers number 8 pick. I don't think anybody would have thought that was possible.
And we also got to see the Pelicans video where they superimposed the ping pong ball on the basketball with did you see it?
No, I don't think I saw it.
You got to go check out their Twitter. So they took a video of LeBron taking the ball up against the Pelicans, making a pass, and Alvarado stealing it, and then Najee Marshall dunking in transition. But they superimposed like the ball for like LeBron bouncing a Lakers ping pong ball. And then when Alvarado steals it, it converts to a Pelicans ping pong ball and they dunk it. It's beautiful. Like, it's so stinking good. I mean, the social media trolling is just that. If it's like a 1 to 10, it's an 11. I mean, that was you got to go check it out.
There's a lot of pettiness there that they have no problem. I think they were so mad as an organization at the Lakers and at Clutch that summer of 2019 that I really think they don't care at all about like trying to be above it or anything like that. It's like there is a lot of pettiness that they are perfectly happy with.
So let's look at options and need for that 8th overall pick. I want to start with need. When you look at this roster and you have the luxury of a top 10 pick, what is the biggest need you're trying to address?
I mean, there's part of me that's like, wouldn't a traditional point guard be helpful on this team? And you saw kind of how the playoffs unfolded, but I just don't know where there's minutes to go around to be like there's a need that anybody who's 19 or 20 is going to like crack into there, or you can expect them to. Obviously, we saw a couple rookies make their impact last year, so it's not as if it's impossible. But it's like that's kind of the one thing that I don't see like there's not like a real traditional point guard out there. I guess Kyra Lewis when he comes back, but I would think he's not going to start and he's not going to get that many minutes anyway. So I think that's kind of, an option. And then, I mean, when you look at what the NBA, you look at the division and you look at what the Western Conference looks like and you see Luka Doncic doing what he's doing, you're going to have to play that guy 4 times a year. And, a lengthy wing defender seems like a pretty, helpful thing to have. And they don't really have that guy right now, with the exception of Herb Jones, who's long, but he's not Luka long. So I think somebody like that, I think those are the kind of stuff that you want. But I think once you're picking at 8, it's hard, man. It's just really hard to know exactly what you're getting.
We'll talk about this in a second, but I don't know if you've looked at the history of the 8th pick. There's not a lot of hits in the history of the league at number 8. We'll get to that in a minute. But so the NBA, the official NBA website, did put together a consensus mock draft. So they looked at like all the mock drafts that are out there, as many of them as they could find. So, okay, what's the most common pick for each player, for each selection? The Pelicans at 8, they're taking Ben Mathurin. I don't know if you know, he's out of Arizona. I don't know if you know much or anything about him. If you do, like, how do you think that would fit or work if that's the pick?
Yeah, I mean, he makes sense as a pick, and that's a guy who, like, was very good at Arizona, and that Arizona team was awesome. That's a guy who has contributed to winning. We already know that. He's like there was a term in the NBA that was used really often until a couple of years ago that everybody wanted, which was 3-and-D. Right,
yeah,
that was like what every single NBA thing was like. Who needed 3-and-D? The Pelicans didn't have one for 15 years.
Welcome Trey Murphy. They got him now.
Yeah. They never had one who could do both, and so that's kind of, I think, in a lot of ways what Mathurin is like 6'6" guy, played in a winning team, can shoot the hell out of the ball. It's not like he's a perfect player or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, you can certainly see how a guy like that slots in to what they need. The complicating thing right now is do the Pelicans look at this draft and say, we want a guy who's going to be good 2 years from now, or do you want a guy who's going to be good right now? And that just changes the complexion of it a little bit. I think in most years, at least under Griffin, certainly they were going for the guy who was going to be mostly better today than he was going to be, than the guy who might be better a couple years down the line. I think the exception of Jackson Hayes, all the rest of those guys, I don't quite think they were looking at need immediately as hard. So we'll see. I do think Mathurin is a really good choice. I think there's just a lot of good prospects. I also think trading out of this makes a lot of sense for them, considering where they're at too. I think there's a whole bunch of options on the table if they were to trade out of it.
Okay, beautiful segue, because that was my next question. What are the options then, ideally, if you have a trade scenario with the 8th pick?
I would go get more assets. I would trade down and go get more assets. The same, because what they've proven that they're good at, better than anything else to this point, is drafting later and getting good players later in the draft and using those picks to get good veteran players. The reason you got C.J. McCollum is because you had some picks to give up. The reason that you were able to, to operate the way that they have, in terms of like they made mistakes the summer before with Bledsoe and with Adams, they were able to quickly make up for those because they had picks to give and they had assets at their disposal. I think this front office works better when they have more assets. I don't think the 8th pick is necessarily all that valuable considering their track record. I think they've shown they're better as a team kind of operating on the margins and then making moves, with the assets that they generated. And that's, I think that's, for a lot of people, that will be disappointing if you don't use a top 10 pick. But, like you said, the number 8 pick isn't really what you think it is. It's not the NFL number 8 pick.
Correct. You, the one counterpoint I would make is, so you want to acquire assets, potentially for a moved out of player, but like we just talked about, you really don't have many minutes to go around on this team where you have Zion coming back, and you mentioned Kyra Lewis coming back. So why try to draft even later in this draft?
Yeah, I mean, you can move out of this draft entirely if you can go get future picks down the line from it. I mean, it just depends on what's out there. But I do think the best option, you saw it this year, a lot of times the best option of what's available to pick up as far as a player is someone sitting there at the trade deadline for a team that is not doing anything. And C.J. McCollum, certainly the big move that they made there was because they had picks to give up, and he was available. And if there's a player of that caliber that's sitting out there at the trade deadline next year, wouldn't you much rather have that, considering the timeline of this team right now, than have an uncertain number 8 pick, a guy like Benedict Mathurin? Like, maybe it all depends on your perspective and how much you value the draft and how much you value those kind of picks. But I do think there is a notion of trading out of it that makes sense. I could also see them trading up and like packaging, one of these future Laker picks and something and getting into the top 3 and trying to make one of those guys, because there's a kind of consensus top 4 that I think, those guys are much more highly sought after. So they're sort of in this in-between zone right now. They have gone a lot of ways. They've made a lot of moves that have been unexpected in the past couple of years. So I think forecasting it is difficult at the moment.
If I made you make the pick, is there a player you would take?
I don't know. There's just really not. I kind of like the Jalen Duren kid from Memphis, just because he's like a guy that doesn't have to play immediately, and it allows you to sort of move off of Jackson Hayes, have that big who's developing and has a huge potential, but doesn't really need to do a lot right now. And I think that sort of fits the mold of where they're at the moment. They need to play with Zion and see who they are. As much as fun as the last 6 weeks of that last season were, I don't think that's who the Pelicans are. Like, we need to see what they look like with Zion, because look, they were a fun story, and I think they're a playoff team, even if Zion isn't to the level that everybody hopes he is. But if they're going to get to where they're playing now in the season, it has to be because of Zion. They cannot beat the top 4 or 5 teams in the NBA without Zion playing at that level. And so it's going to change the complexion completely of how they play. And until you know that, I just find it really hard to build around.
That's great perspective. He's on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner. Y'all give him a follow, except during weekends when Tennessee baseball is playing. You might want to just ignore him.
SEC champs!
That's so sad that you're just celebrating your regular season as easy.
You haven't won the SEC regular season in anything.
I get it. Are you going to be okay when the inevitable happens and Tennessee does not win the national championship? How are you going to be devastated?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just fun that they're good.
Okay.
It's just been out of nowhere. In the last 2 years, they've just gotten really good. I never care. Tennessee sports died every year the day the basketball team lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was that was the okay, when does the next embarrassment for football happen? And now it's I got all these guys texting me on weekends. Every game's on TV. It's just a great. It's a wonderful gift to have. To be number one is just really cool too.
Yeah.
And the guy's a great coach, and Lord knows they're probably cheating like crazy. And I'm cool.
Yes, and he's a total douchebag too. But
Well,
it's like
I disagree with that. But he is a great coach.
wait! You disagree
he's
with
definitely
that?
Cheating.
That's
he's
the
not
part
a
you
douchebag.
disagree with?
He's not a douchebag. He's great.
Are you kidding me?
He's an ass.
They're one and the same. They're interchangeable
totally
here.
Different. Whine. I think of a douchebag as someone who's whiny. He's not whiny.
Wait. So a dude bat flips. He takes the bat and throws it into the other team's dugout?
Yeah. That's just sending a message, Matt.
No, you're kidding me. That is appalling that you would challenge that. Of all the things that you would challenge, that's what you would bow your chest about?
Takes no crap. Takes no prisoners.
Oh my God. I would love to see somebody just open hand slap him in the face and watch him cry, because that's what would happen. That's what would happen.
He's so arrogant. I just kind of love it. I love how
he's the guy. He's the guy that he's what I describe about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson all the time. When he's on the other team, you friggin' hate him. You want to bury that guy. When he's yours, you love him.
Yes. That's fair.
That's him.
I used to love Bruce Pearl for the exact same reason, right? And Rick Barnes is a good coach, but he's not fun.
No, but Bruce Pearl was never a villain.
It depends on where you went, but yeah,
I don't
he
think
was very
so.
obnoxious.
I could totally get down with my men's basketball coach going out in full body paint to support the women's team. I got no problem with that whatsoever. You know what I mean? I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never thought of Bruce Pearl as a bad guy. Vitello's just a bad guy. He's playing the villain role and he's kind of owning it, which cool. You win, cool. But when you lose, people can celebrate your loss, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it really.
But do you realize
a lot of these stuffy baseball guys?
I don't know if
which
you know
I really
this.
appreciate.
I don't know if you know this, but do you know the last time? We're going very long here, but do you know the last time the number one overall seed in the tournament won the College World Series?
I know it's been a long time because I thought it was one of those Vandy teams, and then I realized it wasn't, and now I'm it has to be it's 1997, when LSU won it, and
it was
Eddie Furnace years.
1999. It was Miami.
Oh my God!
It was Miami in
That's a long
99.
time.
It's
Yeah,
not.
so we should lose some games. They should tank the SEC tournament.
It won't matter. Tennessee's still going to be the one seed, but that's an incredible. The number one overall seed in the tournament has not won the national championship since Miami in 1999. It's incredible.
Omaha's such a crapshoot.
It is, especially since the format changed. It is so hard to win there. Tennessee's built to win there, but it is so hard to win there.
Yeah, they just can't hit enough home runs, and they live off home runs, so it's hard. It's a very different game out there.
He's on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner. Y'all give him a follow. The New Orleans. What do we say? Do we say the New Orleans Advocate? Do we say Times-Picayune? What do we say? Let me know what to say anymore.
I like to say NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune.
Okay,
but yes, it also
NOLA.com,
appears the Advocate.
NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune is where you can find his stuff. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate it as always.
See you, Matt. Have a good one.
You do the same. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, all this month, laser hair removal, buy 2 treatments, get the 3rd free. You want to get that unsightly back hair, shoulder hair, guys, be rid of it forever? Laser hair removal. Ladies, you want to never shave your legs again? Huh. Does that sound enticing? Laser hair removal on your legs. It's very common. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. Buy 2 treatments, get the 3rd free all this month at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Voted the nation's best aesthetic practice. Learn more at TheAntiAgingClinics.com. Little late. When we come back, Jarvis Landry spoke on the Saints podcast about joining the Saints. Few thoughts and reactions to that next on AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet,
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we get to the Otter here shortly. I want to move quickly in this segment so we leave time for Jimmy to get his picks in, although I'm kind of going to fade the Otter stage, right? Like, I need to ask him that, right? Straight up. In his back-to-back days, he's won the collar. Do I ask him, hey, do we fade the Otter tonight until he wins again?
It's just 2 days, and everybody goes through a little bit of a slump, right?
Well, I don't want to keep, like,
You don't want to keep losing. Yeah, I hear you.
So, I mean, do I fade the Otter until he wins again? I'm sure he's going to win again.
Yeah,
but what's his thing on the flip side? Like, you ride a streak until it loses because you play that and you'll win a bunch, but you'll only lose once.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. We'll hear from Jarvis Landry in just a quick second about joining the Saints. By the way, big shout out the Williamson Eye Center. Tell you about them every single day. They did my LASIK. It's also where the pros go. Damone Clark, Andre Anthony, so many of the current draft picks had their LASIK done at the Williamson Eye Center as well. When you go into the Williamson Eye Center, there's a big wall of all the athletes that they've helped with vision correction surgery. You don't have to be a pro athlete, no matter your age or your refractive issue. If you want to see 20/20, call 924-2020. They can help. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center. I had someone text me today on the show text line. Hey, thinking about getting LASIK. Who do you recommend? Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center. It's the best money you'll spend. It'll be the best decision you ever make. Just make that call and go for the consultation. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEYE.com. So, Jarvis Landry, of course, thrilled local fans here when he picked the Saints. He'll be coming home to his hometown, of course. Start at Lutcher and then at LSU, and now he'll be playing for the New Orleans Saints. Jarvis, after signing with the Saints, was a guest on the Saints podcast and discussed when the Saints realistically became an option for him.
Well, actually, early on throughout the free agency process, I wasn't so sure. Obviously, there was interest from a couple other teams as well. And then, I had the opportunity to take a visit. And when I took a visit and I met everyone, I sat down with DA. I talked to Mickey. I talked to Jameis, and me and Jameis continued to have further conversations throughout the following weeks that kind of led to me, actually coming back home.
It's just crazy when you look at the deal itself because it's just as team-friendly as you'll find. A base salary of $1.12 million, signing bonus of $1.8, so he gets $3 million basically. He's got incentives where 55 catches, he'll earn an extra $250K. 65 catches, $500,000. Gets to 75 catches, boom, $1 million. Same thing with receiving touchdowns, the percentage of snaps. The way that it's incentivized, that he goes and produces, and he's in a contract year, and certainly he wants to produce, but he also gets a chance to play for the hometown team, which is something he discussed on the Saints podcast as well.
It's just that. It's full circle. It's a blessing to be back. It's a blessing. As a kid, you always grow up wishing to play for the New Orleans Saints, play for LSU Tigers, and I could say I accomplished both being a hometown kid. So,
the big question that I have, and I don't think anybody's going to deny, attitude, infectious, leadership skills, skins on the wall. He's made 5 Pro Bowls. Nobody had more catches in the first 2 years of an NFL career. So Jarvis Landry. He's been an incredible pro. But he's walking into an offense where new head coach, obviously, new-ish starting quarterback. Michael Thomas is back healthy. You draft Chris Olave. You all know. You know all of the particulars and variables. So how does he fit? What would be his role in this offense?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just coming in and doing what I need to do where I'm needed. I've had, again, great conversation with DA, great conversation with Jameis, Pete as well, who is the offensive coordinator, that, again, sway my confidence to be able to be a part of this offense and, be another tool to the toolbox.
I think there's one thing that I'll be, certainly very curious is, or let me rephrase that. One thing I think that we were very curious about would be the locker room makeup. One of the things the Saints have worked so hard to build since 2017 is that culture, right? Teddy Bridgewater doing the Choppa style in the locker room. Yeah, just the locker room where guys enjoy each other, they get along, they have fun. Every NFL team now, after a turnover, does the thing where the whole defense runs to the end zone. The Saints started that. They have as good a locker room culture as there is in the NFL. And I think it was fair to ask how much of that was Sean Payton. And would that be able to continue? This is an organization that has put a premium on good character guys in the locker room because they don't want to disrupt that culture. It's pretty clear with their free agent acquisitions. Can we all agree? I mean, you had a Tyrann Mathieu, you had a Jarvis Landry. You are adding guys in free agency who fit that culture and just accentuate it. I don't know how many wins that will translate to, but you know you're going to have guys that like each other, that play hard, that work really hard, and want to go out and win. So that much you absolutely have to applaud. All right, it's After Further Review. Good stuff there. If you want to check out the entire podcast, Jarvis was on the Saints podcast. They're in-house production if you want to check it out there. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. We'll knock out our final break of the show. When we come back, well, Otter Locks. Oh, we fade the Otter. I just have to be blunt. I have to ask the Otter straight up if I need to fade him tonight. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Insurance Network of Louisiana. Love telling you about ways to save money. Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. So easy. Just log on to the website. You can click quotes at the top of the page, fill out a little info when they're in the office. Boom, they'll get working, shopping for you for free to see if they'll get you better coverage for less money. Did he say for free? Yes, for free. There's got to be a catch. No, there's no catch. I was stunned too. I prepared myself to be pitched on what they were about to sell me. It ain't like that. Either they can find you better coverage for less money than you're paying, or you stick with what you got. It's that easy. But you won't know until they go shop. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you. Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks. Presented by Bocage Barbershop in Bocage Village. Serving the Bocage, Goodwood, and Town Center area since 1959.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
I'm doing great, Matt. How about you?
I'm legitimately concerned about the next thing I have to ask you.
Okay.
Back-to-back nights, we've worn the collar. Is it time to fade?
No, we did Colorado last night. They split.
No. I lost with Colorado last night.
No, they won in overtime, man. They outshot them in overtime 13-0.
And you told us to
Money
play
line.
the puck line
I said
night.
to split it. It's okay. We did say we like Boston this series. Don't like them tonight.
All right. Something you often say is you play a streak, right? You play because you're only going to lose once. So should I fade the Otter until you start winning again?
Hey, bro, you do what the hell you want, man.
Okay.
I mean, you're a big boy. I mean,
I'm just asking for advice from my friend. That's what I want to know.
Well, let's get the data accurate first before we start, throwing darts. And
There's no darts.
Fun.
There's no darts.
Yes.
There's no darts. I ride with you every night here. I open up my DraftKings app and I ride with you every night. Every night I'm here with you.
Yes.
There's
Colucci.
no darts. There's no darts.
Dr. Colucci.
Okay.
In the early game, he is going with the.
It's so obnoxious.
he loves it. Carolina is undefeated at home in the playoffs. They beat Boston all 4 games. Of course, every game is won by the home team. They won that game 7 on Saturday afternoon. He's going Carolina minus $1.75 in that one. So, and then he likes Edmonton a little bit in the late one, but he likes Calgary in the series. That was just opinion.
Okay.
So he did release Carolina. Got that?
Okay, got Carolina, but no play in Edmonton or small play in Edmonton?
I listen. I am relaying a share.
No, so
opinion.
what did he give you Edmonton tonight, or he just gave you Carolina tonight?
I mean, I will read it verbatim, bro. I mean, my God.
It's a fair question. That's a fair
Carolina.
question.
I kinda, not Kinda. Okay, it's from Queen. I kinda like Edmonton tonight with Calgary for the series.
Okay.
But the first text was, boom, one word, Carolina.
Okay. All right, Carolina. We're rolling with Carolina tonight.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
I gotta scroll back. All right. Showtime is on the Hill tonight for the Angels. They lost the first 2. Dave Koken on our podcast. You can find him on all your Apple podcasts and also on my Twitter. He is going with Showtime Ohtani against the Rangers in Dallas. So
you're going with Anaheim.
They're Los Angeles.
You're going with the California Angels.
You know a great place called the Abbey in Seal Beach. You ever go to a game in Anaheim?
Okay.
So it's really good. Wood-burning stove pizzas, tons of wine by the glass, and every baseball game on TV.
Yes.
Yeah. But, grew up in Seal Beach, huh?
No.
Brad Cressy.
Okay, very good.
There you go. Mark McGuire, frequent hangout guy there as well. Right. So, where's my notes? Here are my notes, and he's going with. Hey, I'm going to give you an in-game.
1 minute remaining.
In-game. Even money right now. Top ERA in all of baseball. Lopez. They're down 1-0 right now to the Washington Nationals in game right now is minus $1.40.
Okay.
So the Marlins.
Love it.
Hey, fade away. Get the fade for Greg on, big boy.
Wait, nothing. No, what about the NBA game?
Dallas in the series, plus $2.
Okay, so Dallas no play tonight, just Dallas in the series.
Dallas tonight, 2 plus the point. Dallas.
Where are you, Otter?
City Slice Pints and Pizza,
Good
right
spot.
on the way home, baby. Come on by.
Good
Get
spot.
a copy.
Good spot. All right, Otter, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us. 1045ESPN.com. Muse Paulie, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Talk about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, 2 things. Number 1, hail. Tons of hail in New Orleans and St. Francisville earlier this week. If you had hail, holler at us, 364-1007 or HudcoRoofing.com. And so many people still have their scopes of work, maybe even a check from the insurance company from Ida. Let us take care of it. Call us today at Hudco, 364-1007 or HudcoRoofing.com.
Hudco Roofing! Hudco Roofing! When you need a roof, call someone you know. Moscona, Ontario. All you need is Hudco. Hudco Roofing! Hudco Roofing! Call Hudco Roofing! 364-1007!
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $5,000 off the new 2022 Wagoneer. We have Wagoneers in stock with $5,000 off. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
The 2022 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em, presented by Mockler Beverage, is almost here. Smoke 'em If You Got 'em is an event that raises money to support military veterans and their families. Tickets are $100, and this year's event benefits the Special Forces Charitable Trust. Come enjoy live music, a grill station, a cigar station, a dessert station, a live and silent auction, and so much more. It's the 2022 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage, Sunday, May 22nd at Bent 77. Learn more